The case that makes you, and the case that breaks you.
Nearly 6 years ago, Team Bondi was talking for the first time about the project that would later become L.A. Noire. Meanwhile, a couple of trailers and screenshots appeared, so we got to know a bit more about this game. In this preview, we will not just bring you the first look of what we've seen so far, but also talk about the influences of the game from the movie industry, the technology behind it, and more.
Takes a certain animal cunning, lad.
L.A. Noire is a dark detective thriller set against the backdrop of 1947 Los Angeles. It's always a difficult task to make a game that plays in the past, but the creators of L.A. Noire took up the challenge. 47 was the year with the most criminal excesses ever in L.A., and that had everything to do with the economic growth after World War II. It's really nice to know that all the cases you have to solve in the game are based on true stories.
2 stiffs, overdose. Victim was dead before the car hit him.
The game features 80 square miles of city with over 140 interiors. Big numbers often hide a multitude of sins, but it's the only way to headline just how hugely ambitious L.A. Noire is. The main character is Cole Phelps, played by Aaron Staton, known from the AMC series Mad Men. Cole Phelps is a war veteran who joins the LAPD and tries to make a career as a police detective. He does that by solving murder cases and smaller criminal activities. In one of these cases, 2 women crash a car, but miraculously enough, they survive. They say they got drugged, and it's up to you to find out what exactly happened.
It's not true, goddammit!
There are about 20 cases like this, all lasting between 45 minutes and an hour and a half. And while each one is a self-contained story, the game has an overarching plot which unfolds as you move through the cases. This all means that you can expect a game time well in excess of 20+ hours. Just as like a real investigation, you will spend some time on the crime scene. Accompanied by your partner and some classical jazz music, you'll look for clues. After this, it's time to question the suspects. Here it's important that you stay focused. You need to make the right decisions to obtain reliable information. Every time a suspect answers your questions, there are 3 ways to react on their statements. You can tell them they are right, put them under pressure, or confront them with evidence. But as said, it's really important to stay focused and make the right choices. Put an emotionally unstable person under pressure and he will break for sure. If you don't know how to react on a confession of your suspect, you can always look at their facial expressions and body language. That's right, this footage are actual in-game rendered events and happen all the time. This is another new thing the developers came up with, and so far it looks awesome. In fact, all the characters in the game are real actors, and as every character is unique, they are all played by different actors, with a total of 300 actors. Using cameras, microphones, lights, and editing software, and built from the ground up, Motion Scan enables the developers to capture every nuance of an actor's facial expressions. They can then recreate them, providing a level of realism, detail, performance, and emotion never seen in a game before. This is combined with a full-body motion capture performance to create the vivid representation of the actors on the screen. As the title suggests, the game draws heavily from both plot and aesthetic elements of film noir, stylistic movies from the 40s and 50s that shared similar visual styles and themes, including crime, sex, and moral ambiguity, and were often shot in black and white with harsh, low-key lighting. The game uses a distinctive coloring style in homage to the visual style of film noir. The post-war setting is the backdrop for plot elements that reference the detective movies of the 40s, such as corruption and drugs with a classical jazz soundtrack. Other big, more recent influences of the game are LA Confidential and The Black Dahlia. Many of these movies also feature a lot of sex and beautiful women. Whether these elements will be in LA Noire remains to be seen. The developers said that old photographs were also a big inspiration. They gathered more than 180,000 photographs pulled from the Los Angeles Times, Herald Examiner, and Daily News archives. LA Noire is going to be a very lengthy game judging by the length of the script. Brendan McNamara, Team Bondi founder, revealed in the April issue of Edge magazine that the script spanned over 2,200 pages. Compared to movies where the norm is around 120 pages, you have yourself a game rife with chatter and storylines. But that's not all. Just like other Rockstar games, LA Noire features intense action moments with fists and gunfights, where you have to choose strategic positions to take down your opponent or chase your victim. Other games of Rockstar, such as Grand Theft Auto or sandbox games, played in an open world. LA Noire is also playing in an open world, but more linear, and where it's all about the storyline. It's important to state that Rockstar is not the creator of LA Noire, but Team Bondi is. Rockstar is just the publisher. One of the biggest differences is that in LA Noire, you are on the right side of the law, meaning that the days of bat beating a prostitute to death in a back alley are officially over. LA Noire is a game that's trying a lot of new things. It's a matter of time to see how this will turn out, but it looks good so far. It's a game about using your brain and making logical choices. But it's also a game that seems to remember that sometimes people just like to smash cars and shoot bad guys. Hopefully, LA Noire strikes the right balance between those elements. We're eager to see more leading up to the game's 2011 release date. We expect more details in the next few months, so stay tuned for updates.
Follow Gamerspawn on Twitter, and don't forget to visit our Facebook page.